Welcome along. Good to have you there. Make sure to post in the live chat right now where in the world you are watching from. Let me know where you are and get ready. We're starting in 1 minute from now. G'day and how you going? I'm Mike Russell. I thought I'd say that because I can see in the chat already we have a lot of Australian viewers, which is always fantastic. Great to have you in the house wherever you are watching. And as you can see, I'm in digital pixelated world today as we venture in the world of video games and we start creating all kinds of 8-bit sounds for video games. Stuff that sounds like this, you know. Yeah. Epic. 8-bit kind of stuff. Yeah, all the good stuff. 8-bit music. We'll do some sampling. I'll show you some sound effect generators. We'll also get into the native stuff that you can do right inside Adobe Audition. Actually, Adobe Audition is pretty neat as a tool for generating sound effects for games. And as always, we will comment on your comments. Not we, I. Why do I use plural? It's me, Mike Russell here from Music Radio Creative. I always like it, by the way, when I receive stuff from you over the weekend via email. Often you'll just email out of the blue into Music Radio Creative and you'll send creative stuff like this.
Great hour with music production starts now. And here is your host, Mike Russell.
I love the pacing on that line. That's Bfxr from Poland, from Bias Media. Bfxr, who I know did a super chat as well on Friday in the YouTube chat, so I really appreciate that. And I just thought I could maybe play it again, add a bit of reverb.
Great hour with music production starts now. And here is your host, Mike Russell.
Yeah, little little trigger happy on the reverb button there. So shall we get into it then? As always, in 15 minutes, every 15 minutes, we mention your comments. I'm at it again. It's going to be like that today, isn't it? Every 15 minutes, I mention your comments. As you can see, they're here in prime position. And when we go into screen share mode, they are above my head. And obviously, if you're listening on the podcast on demand at mrc.fm/podcast, then you can go ahead and comment on a video if you watch the replay. Let me just mention here, these are some of the websites I'm going to be showing you later on. The Music Radio Creative community is a fantastic place where we're starting to gather and interact with each other. I have to confess, I wasn't very busy in there over the weekend, and I see there are a lot of new topics that I need to get in and have a look at, and suggestions of new categories and all of that. I've seen obviously the titles, haven't read all of the threads yet, but I will do when I finish the show today. What I did want to say, though, is on Friday's show, that's the last show that I did, we had an excellent exporting stems session from Adobe Audition. And I said it would be great if you could take some of the stems from the audio I was working on Friday's show and make your own creations. And you did not let me down. Here's the thread in the community, which, by the way, I really ought to post a link. If you're listening on demand, it's mrc.fm/community to get there, mrc.fm/community. community. Go and join up now if you haven't done. Some of the categories, like this one I'm looking at now, are only available to signed up members. I gave away all of my stems from Friday's session. That was a drum loop, raw and processed, a full mixed jingle that I made, jingle logo, MRC. Sorry, I won't sing on the show. It's not a good idea. Also the MRC sung, and then a little bit of a processed bust version of the MRC sung vocals. You didn't let me down, as I could see Joe made the comment that actually he might not need just access to my Google Drive, but the whole Google Drive, so I can have all the effects that I have. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Hot Jazz Chick. Hello, Hot Jazz Chick. Lovely to have you as part of the community. You're Hot Jazz Chick on the forums, but your real name is Jenny Durham. Lovely to see you there. I see you've recently joined up over the last few days, and you posted a little take on that Mixdown challenge. So let's see if I can find your Mixdown challenge. And I think it was this one. Let's have a listen. No, hang on. It was this one. This is Jenny's take on my stems from Friday.
MRC, brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remixes. .fm.
Now, I have to say, I loved the last bit. Whatever effect you've done there on Kim's vocals, that was really good. It kind of went to a bit of a, it's kind of like you've used some EQ filter, I'm guessing, and you've also made it go stereo as well, because I can hear in both ears, and then ending off with one of my sound effects stems, which was brilliant, Jenny. So a great contribution. Another one that's worthy of a shout out here is Bfxr Young, which is actually, it's easier to say Peter Young. Peter Young has been in the community since we launched, actually, this time last week. And Peter has posted this. He said, here's my weekend challenge on your stems. I've used different background music. Phase 3 by Huma Huma. Found it on YouTube Audio Library. Oh, good to know that you're using royalty-free stuff that won't get us in trouble here. As a bed, plus some of your sound effects. I've also added my own voiceover saying this is the sound of. Hey, that's creative. I like that. Didn't get as much time as I wanted with this. I still think there's an issue with matching the VO and the beat, and it might need some more effects. I did try to do an enter the room effect where you start off only hearing the bass. I see, like EQ automation and taking it up, fading into the higher frequencies, but couldn't get it to work, so abandoned the idea. Oh, that's a shame. I'll have to cover that on the channel then at some point. EQ automation's a really cool thing until I learn how to do it properly. Well, Peter, let's have a listen to your MRC weekend challenge.
Music next. Brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remixes.
This is the sound of
MRC.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love the repeat on Pete at the start. Welcome. And I just want to play it one more time, Peter, so I can hear your voiceover.
Music next. Brain smashing, mind blowing, non-stop remixes.
this is the sound of
MRC.
And I love the big echo at the end. It sounds really, really awesome. So always great to get community contributions. Easy for me to say. And you can do that over at mrc.fm/community. So go ahead, join up if you haven't done so already. And yeah, go interact with everyone who's in there at the moment. If we actually go in and have a look at, where are we looking? Not my profile. We're looking at users here. We can see all the various users who are joined up. Plenty of people in the community now. Wow, that's a ton of people. And I haven't mentioned this anywhere else apart from the live stream yet. So this is just us lot who are here for the live stream or the podcast afterwards. Right, let's get into a new audio file here in Adobe Audition. And I wanted to show you quickly a few sound effects you can create for video games using Adobe Audition. Effects generate tones, and then one of my favorite starting points here is major to minor. Okay, if we go to major to minor and let it do its thing, and it generates something like this, okay? And just as it starts, it's just kind of like a major chord going to a minor chord. So it starts off like that. Let's make it a bit shorter. Let's make it 2 seconds and have a listen to this again. Here we go, zoom out. So it's kind of the audience is listening kind of sound effect, that kind of thing. But we can do so much more with this major to minor effect. So what is going on here in the frequency components, we have everything enabled and we have 5 different frequencies. So you see we have a frequency of 220 hertz, 261.58, 329.6, 440 and 481.58, okay? Amplitude is -12 on all of them, apart from this last one, which is just taken down by not -12, but -49.6 dB. If we go to the end frequencies, because we're sweeping across, you can see it's sweeping up to a very high range of frequencies there. And you can see that changing in the shape of the waveform as well, which happens to be square. So if we change the base frequency away from 220 and make it right up to the top, 22050, and have a listen to how this sweeps. There you go. You get a kind of power-up game sound effect. There we go. And I might want to make that a little bit shorter if we're going to use that. I don't know, maybe half a second. And I'll save some of these, and maybe I'll stick them in the members-only area of the forum after this this show, because some of you guys might want to use these. Okay, so that's an example of one thing you can do. And obviously we can take this. So I'm going to save these as I go, and I will save them into my downloads, and I'll call it Game SFX. So we're going to name these as we go along, and feel free to name them in the comments as well. If you're watching live, you can just say, I think that sounds like a so-and-so sound effects, and we'll just generate a ton of sound effects. That's my idea during this session for video games. So we've got, this one is Power Up, and we're going to save that as a WAV file. Obviously, yeah, 44/100 hertz, uncompressed 32-bit floating point. We want the best quality possible. Click OK and create the directory. Okay, brilliant. So now over here in my downloads, I've got a game sound effects folder, and that's my Power Up. Okay, cool. That will start us off, and then I'm going to create a new audio file, effects, generate tones here, and let's see what else we can do. So we've obviously generated the Power Up. Let's get this back. Hang on, let's go back to the major to minor presets up here like this. Generate and play. So, now we're going a different way. Now that could be very interesting. That could be like kind of shooting, couldn't it? It could be pew, pew, pew. So what I'm going to do is add on a little bit of silence. Here we go, 10 seconds of silence, and a really huge reverb. Let's find a really huge reverb. Get into your comments in 4 minutes, by the way. You can see some lovely comments coming in, and I really am excited always to mention your comments. Your comments and you being here, this is what makes the show. I'm turning up the wet here on the Studio Reverb. I always start usually from default in Studio Reverb. The default preset for Studio Reverb is actually very good. So dry up to full, wet up. Actually, try taking the dry down. Because when you take the dry down, you lose that kind of sharpness of it, and you get a more kind of blurred. That could easily be used in a kind of shoot-'em-up game, couldn't it? And the wetter you make it, the more reverby sound you get. Let's play around with this. Depending on what kind of room our fictional video game character is in, we could have a huge room size. And as you can hear, it's reverberating all around the room, or we can make it really tight. There you go. So the decay, very short on that. So I think I'm going to go for a huge room. I'm going to pretend it's like a spaceship, shoot 'em up, and they're out in outer space. And then the decay time, obviously we can make it longer. This is 10 seconds of decay. That has to be the super laser, that one. So let's just take that down. No, that's too short. Now I think we've got an authentic sounding shooter there. Everyone agrees, hopefully that's a shooter. The early reflections I'm going to take down, and the width we can make it a bit more stereo. There we go. If you're listening in stereo, I particularly advise listening in headphones to this. I will do my best not to blow your speakers out. You'll hear that in stereo. High frequencies, let's take them down for a bit. Ooh, Notice how taking the high frequency off gets... I am glancing at your comments, by the way. David's got a great point. Show us the spectral frequency display. This makes things look really good. You get to this, by the way, by clicking that icon there, show spectral frequency display, or hitting Shift and D. Shift and D. Another way is go to Window, no, View, and then show spectral frequency display. And Obscure Developer, wow, thank you so much, Obscure Developer. A brilliant €10 super chat for the show today. This helps to support the show, so I'm really very grateful. And Obscure Developer from Ireland says, I wouldn't generally use Audition for this sort of work. Cubase would be my thing when working on sound effects and music, but might just give it a go. Working on 2 games at the minute. Obscure Developer, really appreciate you. And as I say, I always mention super chats the moment they come in. I'm extremely grateful, and they do help to support the show as well. So yeah, absolutely. No, Audition is fantastic. There's so much you can do in Audition, and I really hope as they bring out the new releases that we will see more and more of this generate menu. This is what I'm hoping will expand. We've got noise, speech, and tones in there already, but I think that there's a lot the Audition team potentially can do with the generate for us. But really, you're only limited by your imagination as to how much you can make in here, because once you've created something you like this, you can hear that is a very different sound to when I put all the high frequencies in. And watch this. Hang on, it should update. If we go into preview here, you can see here, look at that. With the high frequencies on and the reverb on, there's one sound. Take the high frequencies off, and you get something that looks more like that. Isn't that great? So you can see the high frequency cut is literally cutting all the high frequencies off here in spectral frequency display. So we'll go for something around here, put a bit of that high frequency on. And again, if we take the low frequency cut up, you'll see that disappears. And we lose a lot of the rumble. So maybe I'll leave the lows in. Let's listen to how it sounds with that. Yeah, that's too muddy. Let's bring that up to about 200, I think. No, maybe a bit more. 408. And I'm going to bring the highs back in. Yeah, I'm happy with that now. So let's apply. And that's kind of our shooter. Let's call that shooter. There we go. And again, if I wanted to do even more with this is where it might be handy to have a multi-track session open. Game SFX, I'll call this again. Very original, naming everything Game SFX. Notice I haven't used my Adobe Audition presets that I use to process voiceovers when I'm doing jingles. If you want them, you can get them at mrc.fm/presets. But as I'm working with sound effects, I don't want to put any other effects on them. So I'm just going to drag this in. Now, I can make this shooter shorter by dragging in these little time stretch triangles. And if they're not available to you, just click this icon here, Toggle Global Clip Stretching. And then you can make it a shorter shooter. Or a longer shooter. Okay, so I'm going to mix both of those down. So we've got options again. Mix down entire session. So that's, let's call it super shooter. Super shooter. And I want to make sure I'm saving into my downloads. Game SFX, because I did a different thing there, by the way. Get into your comments in just a moment. I'm saving the selection as rather than saving the whole audio, because the decay of the reverb probably actually bring that in a bit further. But I use save selection as all the time rather than just file and save as. Save selection as will just save the bit that you've highlighted. So super shooter. You can access it by going to file, save selection as, or I like to use the Alt Command S. That would be Alt Control S on a PC, I think. And just before your comments, I'm going to make a short shooter as well. There we go. And mix that down. Here we go. Do a bit more in Adobe Audition, and I have got other tools to show you before the end of this tutorial. So again, selecting just the bit I want to save. Alt Command S, Alt Control S if you're on a PC, and we'll call this short shooter. And another thing that's really cool in Save Selection As, people often say, oh, I don't like it. Every time I save in Audition, it always gives me default format of WAV. Well, whatever format you save in Save Selection As will be the format you get the next time you save. So if you like saving MP3s all the time, that's a quick hack. Select MP3, and then the next time you save Selection As, it will ask you to save MP3, which is awesome. So WAV, let's have a look at how our little collection is powering up now. So we've got the power up sound. We've got the shooter, we've got the short shooter, and we've got the super shooter. And I was thinking I could probably do something with the power up that I had here. And I could copy that to a new file and then reverse it. Let's reverse. And what I want to do is kind of do something a bit glitchy with this. So let's drag that in here and have a little look. Let's glitch in there like that. So something like that. And then I'm just going to glitch that out. So I don't know, what would you guys name that sound effect? I need creative help here. Please give me some creative help. I need it. What would you call this sound effect? Suggestions in the comments right now. What is that sound effect? Getting stung by a bee or something? Killed by the boss? I don't know. Give me a name for that and I'll save that into my box. But right now, it's time to take a look at your comments or here right now on the screen from the start. First of all, starting with Facebook Live. I appreciate you on Facebook Live. And do give me a comment in Facebook Live right now and let me know where in the world you're watching from. We're making sound effects for video games today. Not only in Adobe Audition, but also other stuff. Jeffrey Shiftman is in there. Sounds great. Love the downloads, Mike. Nathan Retzi is there. Hi, Mike. Working radio stations in Australia. What radio station in Australia did you work at? It was a radio station called 97.3 Cool FM, and that was based in Innisfail in northern Queensland, just 100 kilometres south of Cairns. And it was an awesome place. I really enjoyed myself there. Thanks for asking, Nathan, and good day to you. Good to have you here. Right, so we've had David in talking about keeping the beard nice and trimmed. Loria is in. Marnix, hello to you, Marnix. Good to see you. I noticed that you're from the Netherlands and that you joined the community. Which is fantastic over the weekend. Look forward to seeing you in the MRC community. DJ Sandy C, hey there. Martina's back again. Good to have you back, Martina. We've got, what else have we got? DJ Sandy says, tell the missus I said hi. Yep, that's Isabella. The other half in the brains of Music Radio Creative, of course. DJ Sandy C is in Ireland. Mo Gamad is in South Africa. David's in Adelaide in Australia. We've got Bruce in Brisbane, Australia. Hi from Morocco to Tarek there. The Smart World is here from Pakistan. We got Foxy's from Greece watching today. What else have we got? We have got, Anthony is here. Hey, from Smooth Grooves Radio in Jacksonville. What else have we got? Might be useful to you, obscure developer. Hope you're enjoying this so far. 8-Bit Wonders. Yes, we have plenty of that coming up. Skinny Dean, Mike Russell, I'm a rapper who uses Adobe Audition. Do you think you could ever make a video for good rap vocal mixing? Well, you know what? Now you've said it. It's going in the big 2017 book. You see that? The big 2017 book. These ideas get written down and actioned. Rap vocals. It's definitely something that I can do. Maybe Skinny Dean, if you reach out to me, via the website or via email, send me some of your own rap vocals. If you've got any you'd like to share and I could use on the stream, I'd be happy to work with your rap vocals. So I always like it if you suggest a stream, if you've got something I can use, it makes it even better. Peter's saying good afternoon. What else have we got? Hassan is in. Fernando is in from Brazil. Ben, I think that's minor to major. You might be right, actually, with that preset I was demonstrating earlier. You're welcome for the feedback, Peter. You made a good production there. Marnik says, preferring Pro Tools for this stuff, signal generator and lots of glitch. Interesting stuff. Mr. Mega Radio UK, good afternoon, Mike. I feel like I'm in an arcade already. What else have we got? Lots of chat going. Keep the chat going between yourselves. That's fantastic. What else have we got? David, can you make all tracks in the multi-track the same volume before starting work on them? Yes, it's a good idea to do that. Hi from Darlington to Phil there in Darlington. Can I do a power intro session? Yes, I'll be covering power intros for you very soon on this stream. That is scheduled to come up soon. Niels is in, 60 kilometers outside of Copenhagen, production manager at radioplayback.dk. Brilliant to have you there on Facebook. And Andy Silcox is there. What made you decide to do live videos? Just because I feel that I can get closer to the production community this way, because having, feedback live and in real time, it's kind of inspiring for me as well. I know hopefully it's benefiting you and maybe you learn a little bit, but also I find that I get inspired doing these as well, just from the community feedback. So that's kind of why I'm doing them. Mixed downtime selection. Let's say I'm going to call that down the drain. I think that would be a good sound for it. Down the drain. Okay, so that's saved. So far we have got 5 sound effects, but now I wanted to get over to, let's have a look. And by the way, mentioning your comments again, 30 minutes into the show at past if you're watching live. Just before I get into my next thing I wanted to show you, do remember the community is ready for you to join if you're not in already, mrc.fm/community. And if you want to subscribe to upcoming tutorials that we're going to have live on the channel, youtube.com/musicradiocreative is where you need to go. Hit the subscribe button, and then you can set reminders like this on, well, obviously not today's because that's live, but you can set a reminder on all the forthcoming shows, and YouTube should remind you. So this is the one I wanted to show you next. It's really cool. So over there, that website is called Pulseboy. Pulseboy.com is where you can access this, and it's kind of like a sampler for 8-bit audio if you're designing that kind of stuff for your game. So you got all the notes here. Can you guys hear that? Let me turn that up a bit. C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay, and it's very simple to start playing into this. You just hit record. Hang on. So we could do something like I've got a good idea. Let's just hit record. So we do. So that's MRC. Although I think we need to select which. You kind of need to get used to this, but after you do, so you kind of get a row. It's sort of like a multi-track, but going down, this thing, once you learn it. So now I should be able to play in M, R, C. There we go. And you can see, yeah, E4, G4, B4 played in. And then if I play it back, what it does is, oh, hang on. My mouse is glitching a little bit. What it does, let me take that off record for a second. It will play the last note you put in forever. And ever and ever and ever. Until you stop it. With a little bit of reverb there on the mixing desk. So yeah, I've got that now. And that's obviously MRC logo, but you could make your video game soundtrack this way. And the best thing about pulseboy.com is that here in the notes down below, it says anything that is created with Pulseboy is under the Creative Commons Attribution license, which can be copied, distributed, sold commercially, displayed and performed. I only ask that you credit me and or Pulseboy, although it's not absolutely necessary. So what a good chap. Roger Hicks programming this, and the artwork and animation by Matt White. Really good people. They're saying, go on, please give me a credit, but if you don't, I don't mind either. So basically, you've got full rights to use the sound effects you generate in this little generator inside your creation. So if I go new audio file here, let's call it MRC 8-bit, like that. Okay, and I should just be able to record from my mixing desk here. So let's do that. Okay, It's picking up my mic as well. So let's play this back, and I'll put the reverb on at the end. Stand by for this. Here we go. Okie dokie. I think we did it. I noticed that's particularly quiet, so I turned up the gain a little bit. Oh, it's still playing there in the background. Let's stop that. There are other effects you can do with this as well. But first of all, now if I normalize that to minus 0.1 dB, and we've got something that looks like this. Doesn't it look wonderful looking at all this stuff in the spectral frequency display? So what appears to be going on here is just a whole load of tones at different frequencies, as you can see here. So yeah, it's and obviously those different frequencies are what is creating the notes. So let's... It's kind of gone up in volume there where I added the reverb on, but we could kind of maybe put on a little bit of, let's see, single band compressor on this. Obviously that's going to pull the reverb up though as well, isn't it? Actually, what I might do is record a dry version. I can always add reverb in later. It's harder to take reverb out than it is to add it back. So let's do that. Okay, I think we've got what we wanted there. So, where is our audio here? Very, very quiet. It's recording very, very quiet, but if I normalize, we should get... Yeah, it is there. Here we go, normalize again. Oh, it's playing a load of effects there. So, we've got a kind of MRC generated tone there. So maybe what I'll do is take off the edge of that and MRC, but you can generate your own stuff using Pulse Boy. There we go. And if you want, you could do a bit of phasing on this as well. So we could make that the little logo for the loading bit of our game. You know, like Nintendo and Sega used to have when the Nintendo logo would appear and you'd get like a little Sonic logo. That could be my Sonic logo, say. Let's say that's my Sonic logo. And we'll just do a little nice curvy fade in here. You can draw fade ins in Adobe Audition like that to make it a smooth in and a smooth out. And again, we're just normalizing to make sure we're not distorting. Let's actually make that a sharper one. There we go. And I'll save that as MRC 8-bit in there. That's done now. Okay, back to pulseboy.com, and I'll show you what you can do with this. So up here, you've got the opportunity to change the type of wave generated. So if I click on that, see, it's a new wave, and let's play that back and have a listen. I'm going to turn the gain up so you can hear it. Okay, which is different to what we started with. Let's go back to where we started, which was here. So that was the first one. Then we get this. And then if you change it again, you get this. So plenty of stuff. And then there's the sine wave, which is more kind of soft sound. We've got noise, just like generate noise in Adobe Audition. This doesn't play in notes, it's just noise. And then you've got drums, drum 1, 2, and 3. So that's drum 1, drum 2, and drum 3, and drum 4, and drum 5. And then we loop back to the start again. Okay, in just a moment I'll play you a little demo in this, but it is now 30 minutes into the show, and it's time again to mention some of those really nice comments of yours. Andy's asking on Facebook, you used to offer sung jingles at Music Radio Creative. Your website appears to not have that feature anymore. Any particular reason for this? We do have sung jingles, but they're a little more hidden now. You are right, actually. So I need to, that's something I need to talk to Isabella about, because she's the boss. She looks after everything. Sung jingles, they are actually available. But you make a very good point there, Andy. They're not the easiest things to find. It's easier to find vocal production on our site now. Let me just show you how you'd find it. If we go to musicradiocreative.com now, this is where if you're looking for voiceovers or you want to download some of our instant downloads like imaging sound effects, or if you want sung jingles, you can do it. So I go to create audio and then keep it ticked on radio. And then you see here, at the moment it says both on the ear, but then there's an option to choose sung or spoken. So if I choose spoken, these are the voice artists here you can order. But then if I go sung, it should update. Now, these are our singing artists here. So you can still get it, but you're right, it's not as easy to find, Andy, as it was on our old site. So here you can just play a demo of one of our singers, like this. This is Kim.
Spirit 104.7 FM, Madisonville, hits and classics. Good morning, the best music from all generations.
So there's Kim, and if you wanted to order Kim, you just click the basket icon there, and then it's going to ask you to type in a script. So you type in your script, like the best station. You can tell I'm feeling really creative today. And then we all have those days, we're creatives, right? Choose your options, and then you get a quote for a sung jingle. That's a sung jingle. Then you just go and finish your order, complete the purchase, and that's how you make a sung jingle. So it's still possible, but yeah, maybe we should make that a little more apparent, shouldn't we? Niels, do you ever use VST sampler or keyboard music effects in Audition? It seems hard to work on even Audition to recognize VSTs. VST3 works on Audition. VSTi does not work. But I'm pleased to say, actually, I got one of these just recently, and I'm going to be doing a lot more stuff with this Akai, I think it is. I think it's Japanese brand, or Japanese or Chinese, I'm not sure. But it's the Akai LPK25, and yeah, it's really cool. You can just sample notes into stuff like, I recommend Logic Pro X, if you want to get into doing your musical stuff, because at the moment Audition does not do anything like that. Who knows, maybe in future versions they'll introduce it back. It used to be in Adobe Audition 3.0, but at the moment you have to find a different DAW to do MIDI. And yeah, I really like Logic Pro X, but coming up next, I will show you another thing that you might want to use that's free and open source. And you know I'm a big fan of free and open source. So Neil, stand by for that. What else have we got here? Trying to get to all your comments. Apologies if I miss one. Obviously, I'm reading these in real time. We've got Luis Riviera. My wife's yelling at me. Swarm Attack. Yes, talking about the sound effects I was generating. What else have we got? You guys are so funny in the chat. Team Rage, do a punching sound effect. Actually, we're going to do a whole show on punching sound effects. I use a Launch Key Mini when I'm away from the piano. Very nice. What about fiery sound effect or explosion in 8-bit? Ooh, that's a good challenge. How do you upload files to the community, David's asking. In order to do that, what I've been doing, because our community boards, which if you haven't joined them, it's mrc.fm/community to go and join in with everyone else who's a part of this live show or listening to the podcast. You can post, and I usually just upload my stuff to Google Drive and then I share the link. I see that's what others have been doing as well, like Jenny here and Peter. They've used their own Google Drives and then they just share the Google Drive link inside the community. So that's probably the best way to do it, David. And if you've got something to share with us, share away, and I'd love to feature it in here. So Pulse Boy, just to give you an idea of what this is able to do, you can actually click here for demo track and have a listen to this awesome 8-bit demo track. Have a listen to this. Andy says, I've been using Logic for a decade now. It's all I use. That's so cool. Obscure developers saying there in the chat, Dropbox or OneDrive links would work well too. Absolutely, any cloud storage system is the way to go. I could listen to music like this all day. I don't know about you. So there you go. That's the demo track. Pulseboy.com. Highly recommend it. Now, the next thing you'll want to check out if designing sounds for video games, it's kind of like a free, I often get questions, I can't get Logic for the PC, what can I get? Fruity Loops, I think, is the sort of well-admired alternative to Logic for Windows. Unless anyone else knows better, please post it in the comments there. But I found this. It's called LMMS, and you can access that at lmms.io. I'll post that in the community chat right now. It's a free cross-platform tool for your computer that helps you to make music. And as you can see, it's made by musicians for musicians. It works on Linux, on Windows, and on Mac OS as well. So whatever you like. And they seem to have a pretty good community from what I can see here. They've got a forum, they've got Facebook, Google+, and they're even on GitHub as well. So really cool thing to check out. I downloaded it and installed it earlier, LMMS, and let me just load that. And you'll see what it looks like. So it's basically a kind of similar thing. You know, you've got a beat and bass line editor here. So I can create beats like this. This is just like a kind of sampler. Need to turn this up a bit. There you go. So you can hear that. And you can create all kinds of things. This is set to kicker at the moment. I could change the presets on the kicker. And there are all kinds of tools and plugins you can get for this. So yeah, I mean, I could change the distortion up and... Whoa, sorry. Makes it rather a lot louder, doesn't it? So, and you can create, maybe this could be the start of an explosion. Now, there's probably a way I can export these sounds, but just for the sake of doing it, I'm going to start a new file in Audition and record that. So let's do it. There we go. And you can see that all appearing in Audition. Then over here, we've got a sample track as well. So we can just create a sample track here like that. And we can create all kinds of bits in there. But this bit over... thing you might be familiar with in Logic and other doors, you can create like music here. So you can create your kind of like, let's see, oh, what am I doing here? Undo, undo, undo. So let's make this really big. So for free, I mean, this is by the possibilities. So what I could probably do here is, yeah, so you can put them in. Just trying to see how I might, is it this one? I would like a way to make that note shorter. Now, I haven't played with this very much, so I don't know all the features in here. Ah, there we go. So I can make this like... There we go. So that could be... Oh, that's a bit fiddly. It's not as smooth as Logic, but it's free. So that could be our little dying sound effect, couldn't it? Okay, let's see what we've got so far over here in Audition. So, cut out all my yabbering there and get that. Okay, these are the effects that I want to focus on. Favorites, normalize again. So we've got this sound effect that sounds like this. And we've got this. So just a couple of other sound effects that you can create here. This is in LMMS. I still have another tool to show you after we've had a good look at this. Another thing that's really cool is if you go into My Samples here, there are loads of different menus here. My Projects, that's where you can save your projects. Instrument plugins. So, you know, we were using the kicker on the drum synthesizer. It's one of those days today. Look at this, Freeboy. Haven't tried this yet. Emulation of Game Boy. Wow. Okay, I have to find out how to work this. Freeboy. Let's just switch that off for now. So just drag that over. You get that from Instrument Plugins. And I think that LMMS is great for designing not only effects for games, but imaging effects as well. I've had a little dip into it. Let's just see what it does by default. Oh, wow, this is blowing my mind. Why the distortion, though? That sounds weird. Let's try that. Okay, let's zoom in on this so we can have a real good look at what's going on, and you guys watching now can see what I'm doing here. So I'm going to have a mess with this for a second. Oh, I see. So different channels here relate to or correspond to different effects. So if I was to do this, I'm just going to get the crushed kind of sound. Oh, wow. This is so cool, isn't it? Isn't this brilliant? And it's playing notes there as well, I see. Oh, wow. Awesome. And let's see what else we can do with this. Wow. Man, that's blowing my mind. I've got to save that as a sample. So again, making a few untitled files here. Let's just record this sample in. Nice. Okay, cool. This is so exciting. I'm kind of discovering with you now the possibilities of LMMS. So that's the Freeboy plugin for LMMS. I can't believe, it never ceases to amaze me what the open source community are capable of. Bit Invader. Oh my goodness, we have to try the Bit Invader. I right now, I feel like a kid in a sweet shop. Let's zoom in and see what the Bit Invader does. You ready for this? Let's play it and have a listen. Let's draw some stuff in here. Oh, wow. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm drawing my bit here. I am physically holding the mouse down and drawing these sounds. Look at that. So cool. And what else can we do with this? Just checking what else works. Okay, so that's like an envelope function on it. FX. Oh, I see you've got an effects chain as well you can plumb it through. This is awesome. Wow. Okay. Cool. So we kind of had a nice look at that one. Let's see what else we've got. Oh, I didn't want to close that down. Whoops. Let's bring it back. Phew. Okay, so you get it back by clicking this one up here. Show hide the beat and bassline editor. So let's stop here. What else we got? Audio file processor, Bit Invader Freeboy, kicker, incomplete monophonic imitation. Let's give it a go. Let's see what it does. And obviously we can combine these if we want. No, I've got a feeling that probably works in tandem with something else. You probably have to have some other audio for it to work. Okay, not to worry. Let's go for mallets, tuneful things to bang on. Oh, I like the sound of this. Let's play. Oh, hang on. I know why it's not working. I didn't have the fader open. Okay, so you get something like that, which is nice. So let's take that away and have a listen to this. Nice. Okay, cool. And I want to remove those tracks, so I can remove the tracks like that. Monstrous 3 oscillator synth with modulation matrix. Ooh, okay, let's give it a go. I know you guys are going to be downloading this straight away, LMMS.io. And by the way, if you think anyone would benefit from watching this right now and you're enjoying the content, please do share this, whether you're watching on Facebook or on YouTube. Share this on your social media so that we can get others into the community and geeking out with us in the forums as well. Oh, wow, okay, Monstro. Let's see what controls we got there. Okay, so yeah, it's basically a kind of synth oscillator like it says. Just going to take a look at a few more of these before we'll move on to the next thing. An LES-like synthesizer. Ooh, you can tell the people who made this are a fan of video games. Okay, we might need to have a little play with that on Zoom. So we've got, let's get rid of this one now. Nesculane is a NES-style synthesizer. Let's just play one sample for the moment and have a fiddle with it. Okay, I don't want to send you in too much of a hypnotic trance, so we'll crack on. But there's your NES and a quick look through, just because I'm really curious. But in here we've also got a 2-operator FM synth, so I'm guessing that's kind of white noisy stuff. Let's have a listen. Oh wow, okay, no, it's not white noise. What have we got here? Cool, organic additive synthesizer for organic-like sounds. Patman, ooh, that sounds quite like a video game I enjoy playing. Let's try this one. Anything there? Not quite. No, nothing playing out of that one. Bfxr. Let's have a listen to it. Shut that one off and play this. And have a look at the controls for it again. Let's zoom in and have a good old look at those controls. Just going to record those into Adobe Audition, so let's go back over to Adobe. Oh, I'm still recording everything. That's good, isn't it? I recorded a lot of stuff there, so let's stop that because we can save some of those as little sound effects to share in the community after the show. And stop! Okay, SID, my goodness, triple oscillator, vibed, what's in for oscillator, modulatable, wavetable synth, and wow, okay, loads of stuff. And the other thing I was going to show you, so you've got your presets in here that you can play with, your home, which is obviously, that's your hard disk, and your Macintosh HD or wherever you are. But over here, we've got like basic samples and synths and stuff that are available. So if you go in here, waves, you've got kind of stuff that sounds like this, stuff like that, and you've got strings and pads. You know, that kind of stuff. And we got this. And all of this, as it's included with a free and open source piece of software, I'm guessing is probably royalty free and available for you to use in your creations. Oh, cool. I'm doing DJ drops on the stream tomorrow. That will come in handy. Explosions, all that kind of stuff. So you can really go nuts and knock yourself out. Oh, thank you, Obscure Developer, for letting me know that I'm still zoomed. So the samples is over here. Click the note over in the left-hand side and take a look at all these samples that are available to you here that you can play. And yeah, so much available for you to play with. Let's take a look at some of your comments right now. And we have got here in the chat Obscure Developer saying Fruity Loops is nice. Like I mentioned, I would go for Cubase. Also, they have an Elements pack, which isn't too dear. Phil uses Ableton Live on Windows with Waves plugins, is that right? Oh, interesting. Actually, I've just started getting into Ableton Live as well. When I purchased my mixing desk, the Soundcraft Signature 12 MTK, it came with a free Ableton Live 9 Lite license, which was really cool. So I'm kind of dipping into that. We got Painkiller in. Hey, been waiting for this. What else have we got here? Ben asking, does it have MIDI? MIDI. I think you can do MIDI in here. Let me have a look. Ooh. Okay. Yeah, I'm playing my MIDI keyboard, but not natively. Like with Logic, I just had to plug my keyboard in and it just worked. But I might need to set something up in the preferences here. I know I had to play about... Oh, look, here we go. I had to change it from SDL, Simple Direct Media Layer, to Port Audio to get the audio coming out. And then I had to select Core Audio, and I had to select that I wanted to use my Scarlett 2i2. But here, dummy, no MIDI support. Oh, no MIDI support. That's a shame. I'm sure there probably is a way, and I probably need to look in the forum, and somebody's probably got the answer on how I can use my Akai LPK25, which would be awesome. with it. Phil's loving Free Boy. Marnix, it's only playing A. Is there a piano roll in it? Oh, I've missed what that was in relation to. Sorry about that. David, now you've given me something else to spend my time doing. Is anyone else getting buffering? I don't know. Ableton is great. Michael Duffy, good morning. It's good to see you there. Juan is in from Mexico. Thanks so much for the wonderful comment. Jacob, good morning, Mike. Good to see you again. And Joe, hey, it's great to have you in the house here. Just logging on. I wanted to say happy Monday, and hope you have a wonderful week. Now to go and catch up. Indeed. Thank you for your post, by the way, Joe, in the community forum over the weekend. I'll be hopping in there and looking at all the posts after the show, and also posting some of the sound effects I created in our members-only section after the show. So the final thing I wanted to show you... Oh, I just noticed that Andy has mentioned about Logic Pro X, drummer and Alchemy synth. Yeah, because they had a new release, didn't they, on the 18th of July, and it introduced, I think, 3 new drummers to Logic Pro, and also updates to the Alchemy synth, which, I'm going to be playing with that synth in future tutorials, and it really is good. Incidentally not employed by Apple, says Andy. Yeah. So, that's all very good. Now, the final thing I wanted to show you before we finish this stream, as we usually do an hour in, is I wanted to hop over into the websites again and show you this, bfxr.net, bfxr.net. And again, I'll post a link to this. Now, this used to be something that you could access online. It was a little online thing, and you could do all the controls online. But now they seem to have turned it into something where you can download an option for your Windows or Mac computer. And then once you've got it downloaded into your downloads, it comes as a little zip file here, bfxrmac.zip. And then you just get an app. You can either drag it over into your applications, or you can just launch it from the downloads folder like this. And give it a second to load, and then you get this wonderful thing on screen. I'm going to try and make this less busy for you, so I'm going to go over to Adobe Audition, and I'm just going to play with it and record some samples in that, again, we can post up in the forum. But like I say, you can do this yourself. So we'll go over to Bfxr, and I'll zoom in, and I'll show you some of the possibilities now in Bfxr. So we'll zoom in on it like that, and we'll have a look. Let's get that in the center so you can see it all of it like that. Bfxr in operation right now. Let's have a listen. So there you go. That's a little look at Bfxr in action. And the coolest thing about this is if you hit the randomize button, it just literally, it goes nuts. It changes all of these settings here. As you can see, there's plenty of settings that you can change, and just creates a random noise. So you never know what you're going to get. So if you're looking for that specific sound for your next game creation, just hit randomize until you find what you're looking for. Oh, that's nice. Aliens have invaded. And if you want to have your own try at this, you can just choose which type of wave shape you want. So pink noise, white noise, whistle. So we'll go for the square, and then you can change attack, sustain times, punch time. And you can do all kinds of things with this, so. Vibro depth. Let's just zoom in so you can see what I'm doing. So again, hours of endless fun coming for you in Bfxr, bfxr.net. A few more of your comments, by the way, and I'm going to post all of the sound effects that I've generated today after the show in the community, which you can access at mrc.fm/community. Join up to get into the secret production elements forum, which is where I'll be posting any free elements that I make available after the show for you to download. And also we'll be creating a few more hidden categories for members of the community to share stuff like free stuff and invite feedback on some of their creations, because I know some of you might not want to post it for the world, so we'll have like secret forums where you can do that. Only if you're a member. mrc.fm/community is where you need to go. Billy's in. Hi from Greece. I'm a musician and your videos have helped me a lot. That's awesome to hear. Thank you, Billy's. Obscure developer. It would be safe enough to say that the lads over at Adult Swim Games use this. If not very similar, you should play Duck Game. Oh, really? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of game developers do use that. They're, again, very friendly here. On here, if you look right there, it says you have full rights to all sounds made with Bfxr and are free to use them for any purposes, commercial or otherwise, which is awfully good of them. And they do have an email address here if you want to drop them an email and let them know. And if you think it's really good, then do consider donating to them. They have a link to do that. So that's Bfxr. So, what have we looked at in this session? Well, we've looked at all kinds of things. We looked at bfxr.net. It was really rather cool and well worth downloading for your Windows or Mac PC. We looked at a free kind of MIDI sampler, alternative to Fruity Loops or Logic Pro, which are paid versions, called LMMS. And you can do some funky stuff there. Fans of video games there, so lots of video game plugins for that. And we also took a look at the Adobe Audition Generate tones and stuff you can do for video games with that. And not forgetting, of course, pulseboy.com, where you can generate those Game Boy style music tracks. Mr. Mega Radio UK, Space Invaders have hit Adobe Audition, Gameplay Magic, hello to you as well. It's been wonderful communicating with you on this session of Music Radio Creative Live. Remember, I'm back every weekday, the same time, Monday to Friday. I do hope you can join me tomorrow. We've got more exciting sessions. Tomorrow, we are talking all about how to create DJ name drops. So join me for tomorrow's live stream, and I will see you inside the community. Bye-bye.